Lexi Fitzmaurice.
I'm Ignacio Vanzini.
I'm Joe Bertadon.
And I'm Alyssa Smith.
We want to thank you so much for coming out to view our presentation tonight. Let's jump right into it.
So let's start this off with a quick story. This is Steve. He's 27, he lives in the Midwest, and he's worked for a mid-tier company for about 5 years. And now he wants to branch off and start his own company. And he knows he has the talent to do so. He's just a little bit unsure about where or how to do this.
So how does Steve and people like Steve consume media? People like Steve seldom use TV anymore. He spends about 1 hour on his computer watching videos and his shows. He goes on his mobile phone, checking mobile games, his emails, and the occasional swipe left and swipe right on Tinder.
So, at the moment, Steve is trying to find a city as where he wants to move to, and he has looked all throughout the nation, but he's kind of narrowed it down to about 3 cities so far: Los Angeles, New York, and San Francisco.
What Steve desires most out of his new place of business is that it is rich in talent, rich in investors and money, and particularly rich in culture. Steve believes that if he can find a location that is closer to his customer, he can better meet and understand their needs.
So where in the world would a person like Steve find a place with all 3 of these qualities? Los Angeles. And through our primary research, more often than not, Los Angeles was described as a place that is diverse, very vibrant, and very cultured.
So what people don't know is that there's a lot of talent in Los Angeles. Los Angeles actually graduates the most engineering talent in the nation. It also has the highest per capita of entrepreneurs to people in the entire nation, by 530 entrepreneurs to every 100,000 people.
So, in addition to talent, Steve is also trying to find capital and investors who are willing to sink their teeth into a new business venture. Through our secondary research, we've discovered that about $500 million come from Silicon Valley to Los Angeles in the past 2.5 years, and around 16 million people currently reside in Los Angeles, making it the second largest market area in the nation.
We also found that there are over 800 startups in the Los Angeles area that have attracted over $1.3 billion in venture capital since 2011. We also learned from our research that Los Angeles is ranked the number 3rd tech ecosystem in the world and the number 1 fastest growing tech startup region.
So you might be asking yourself, where is this money going? Well, through our secondary research, we have identified several pockets of potential in Los Angeles that demonstrate LA is the perfect place for any type of business to thrive. Los Angeles is a hotbed of technology and innovation due in part to the diverse industry overlap. So here we have many different super industries in one region.
Yeah, there are a lot of companies here, but that doesn't mean that a new company can't come in and make a name for themselves. This is an environment that nurtures new businesses and turns them into industry giants every day.
Through our research, we discovered there are several insights, one of which is that Los Angeles is home to a diverse array of talent and smart individuals. And as well, we quoted James Pitaro, the president of Disney Interactive, saying that here in Los Angeles, you get engineers who have taste, engineers who have started as designers, and it is definitely worth it.
Also, according to Mike Jones, the CEO of Science Incorporated, the city's diversity is a huge asset, making it a more realistic and ideal and perhaps more realistic place to test products. We also found that there is a large opportunity in Los Angeles for investors and new businesses to connect and collaborate through networking events.
Now, the current problem that many people like Steve are facing is that they believe that LA is just a place filled with celebrities driving down the freeways in their BMWs drinking kale shakes.
So how do we overcome this perception? We've rebranded Los Angeles in a new way. So let's take a look. Oh, there's no sound.
To the dreamer, the brand maker, the hard worker, the self-starter, the trailblazer, the lone ranger, the fighter, the creator. To the talented, the diverse, the influencers, the inventors. For the business leaders, the entrepreneurs, the investors. For the goal aimers, the trendsetters, the showstoppers. For the beginner, the intermediate, the experienced. to the collaborator, the team player, the art director. For those who say that average just isn't good enough, get closer to culture. Los Angeles is waiting.
So we have repositioned Los Angeles as a city for trailblazers who are looking to get closer to their customers, their investors, and their towns.
We want people to know that Los Angeles has a unique blend of inventiveness and diversity that can foster innovation. And unlike any other city in the world, Los Angeles has the ability to get their businesses closer to culture.
Our 3-layered campaign is designed specifically to inspire, engage, and activate. In the month of March, we will launch our 5-month campaign, and it will serve the purpose to show people that Los Angeles is the place to be.
The Inspire stage is built to build awareness about the pockets of potential in Los Angeles through a TV spot, a billboard, a magazine spread, and a YouTube digital series. Our TV spot will be an inspiring commercial that will be shown on cable programming, that will be a niche targeted commercial shown on Shark Tank and The Profit. Our out-of-home visuals will be placed in high traffic areas, such as airports and busy business sectors. The point of them is to have people with business ideas see the billboard and be driven to our website.
So we will create visually appealing business magazine spreads and business articles in well-known magazines such as Forbes, Wired, and Fast Company. As we have previously stated, Steve spends a large amount of his time on his phone and on his laptop. We believe he will run into our YouTube video series promoting the development of successful business leaders who have prospered thanks to the rich culture of Los Angeles.
Once we've inspired our target audience, we're going to engage them through our digital content and social media channels. Right here, we have a mock-up of what our interactive website will look like, where people like Steve and other entrepreneurs can come and explore the opportunities that are available in Los Angeles currently. And it would also work as a hub for investors and entrepreneurs to connect and also register for events in the area and just kind of get them connected on an exclusive website. In addition to our website, we will also be active on social media. One component of our social media campaign will be a Twitter influencer program in which successful Los Angeles business owners such as Brandon Beck and Evan Spiegel, we will ask them to tweet out our content to a link to our YouTube series, a link to our website, so that we can leverage their following on Twitter and reach our target audience.
In addition to Twitter influencers, we will activate other media channels such as Facebook and Instagram. And here's our content marketing strategy chart, and it's basically showing that week to week we will post engaging content that people can relate to on a more individual and personal level. A typical week may contain posts about startup hotspots, success stories, and facts about Los Angeles culture. And it's basically to show people that Los Angeles merges its eclectic lifestyle and its culture to create an environment that helps startups.
So, given the increase in online video streaming in this day and age, we believe it is key to place online video ads on websites such as YouTube, Hulu, and Forbes.com, where people like Steve will be watching videos and shows and movies.
People like Steve love playing mobile games. So the last component of our campaign is a mobile game. We call it My Startup. Basically, it's built so that a Los Angeles pockets of potential will be shown in a virtual world. Here we have the main menu, where you will be able to see these pockets of potential, choose your industry, and let's say we chose Playa Vista. This is the interactive map that will come up with real-time data about Playa Vista. Then a person playing the game will be able to choose where they want to start their startup based on real-time information.
So now that we've inspired and engaged our audience, now it is time to activate and turn their dreams into actual business ventures.
So in order to activate, we will host a launch event. And these events will basically be a place where people can meet like-minded business individuals and to create successful partnerships that will lead to success stories. And in these events, you'll be able to meet talented students and entrepreneurs at the same time. And this event will be complimentary to people who have registered through our site as we have just described. And also, The events will be heavily covered by press and celebrity endorsers, and to create buzz around the fact that Los Angeles has what it takes to create long-lasting and very cultured relationships. And as you can see, as Steve will go to these events, he will meet people with long-lasting relationships.
So how much is all of this going to cost? We believe that experiential, digital, and mobile are the most important components of our campaign. And as you can see, we have spent closely to $4 million on digital, $3 million on experiential, and $1.6 million on mobile, and a little under $2 million for our out-of-home TV and print. So what does a successful campaign look like? Let's have a look.
Is Los Angeles the next Detroit? Now there's a statement. I'm on top of the world, I'm on top of the world, waiting on this for a while now, paying my dues to the dirt. I've been waiting to sign the whole thing for a while, take you with me if I can, and give it this a try. I'm on top of the world. I've tried to cut these corners, tried to take the easy way out. I kept on falling short of something. I couldn't give up there, but then again I couldn't have, 'cause I traveled all this way to something. I take it in, but don't look down. 'Cause I'm on top of the world, I'm on top of the world,
We'd like to thank you all for coming and enjoying our presentation. And now we'd like to open up the room for discussion and questions.
That was a really nice job, and you really emphasized a lot of the positives that are present here. I mean, there's a really nice foundation. It's always helpful to have a really good product if you're going to design an advertising campaign. I think you've got one. But I do have one question. The elephant in the room is there's a lot of negative publicity about LA, particularly when you get out of LA. Even in San Francisco, and certainly when you go east. How would you address that negative impression that's out there?
I think what we would try to do is just to show the positive sides, and that's not disregarding the negative facts about Los Angeles, because, you know, as people say, there are a few negative things that people are not in favor of. So just by highlighting what you can gain by coming to LA, I think that'd be the perfect way to show people that there is no other place like Los Angeles.
Yeah, and some of it's not true, too, right?
Nice job. Really good, really thorough, very engaging. Just one question in terms of how would you envision highlighting some of these success stories of companies that started, that got excited about LA and moved here?
What do you mean by highlighting?
Like showcasing some of those success stories that you're talking about? Like what venue, what distribution?
Okay, so highlighting the success stories would basically be finding different companies in Los Angeles who have started in LA. And we would ask them, you know, for information about their financial growth as well as just publicity to see if they're actually stable enough to be considered a success story. And then once we find that, we'll be able to promote them through the websites and all the media channels that we have.
Thank you.
So I love Steve. Steve's coming, but what does success look like? Have you thought about what the outcome of this great $10 million campaign, what does it look like? What's the result?
Do you want to go through it?
Oh, sure. Okay, so some of our KPIs, we showed the video of what a successful campaign would look like, but more in depth, we would think that with our website and increase of website traffic and social media engagement to get people aware and kind of debunk negative stereotypes as we talked about and get people thinking about how LA is a good place for business. Also, brand perception. We did a lot of surveys at the beginning of our research stage, and we would hope that the brand perception of LA would change through this campaign. Maybe people would see it in a new light through our inspiring commercials and our engaging social media.